I'm Dayna J, Francois, and you're listening to Stirring the Plot. Whether you're gay, hot, or doing it for the plot, this is the podcast for you. We're here, we're queer, we're gay, and we slay. We're just two femmes. So please welcome this week's guest, one of my many Tinder matches, Andrea.
Hey.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Okay, period. How are you feeling?
Caffeinated. I'm so jittery right now.
Oh, literally?
Yeah. I've never been, I don't think I've ever had a mic flipped on me before.
Okay.
So I feel so
liberated?
received.
Okay. Right. For sure. Okay.
Which isn't like what I always... But you know what? I'm excited. I'm excited.
Good.
I'm just a little nervous for some reason.
It's a new experience for sure.
Oh, and we were Bumble matches.
Oh, Bumble
matches. Actually, I think I recounted this at your party, but
oh God, you told someone.
I told multiple people because I thought it was so funny.
It's hilarious.
So I was on. Do you remember it was like the Tempe silent disco thing, right? But okay, so I was on a Hinge date. I want to say there.
Okay.
And then
You were on a Hinge date at the party?
Yeah.
Wait,
and then you saw me. Yeah. I thought we went over this. Yeah. And then you saw me.
Yes.
And then you messaged me. And this is before like we had met and we like actually met in person.
Was it weird that I said that?
No, I was just like, that's kind of awkward because I was on a date when I saw her.
And then
And then I also ran into another girl that I had talked to either from like Tinder or Bumble.
Right.
We actually like recognized each other and she like smiled at me. I think I accidentally made a face at her.
Really?
Because she messaged me after and she was like, hey, are we cool? And I was like, I cannot control my facial expressions.
Same.
Not just that, just like I feel like people can read me so easily. Yeah, like overexpressive. I wanted to be
mysterious,
an actress at one point, so I think like kind of just stuck with me.
There you
I'm
go.
still like practicing for rehearsal. Anyway, I'm still practicing for my auditions. I really
all right.
act
So
everything out
going
fully.
back there.
Okay, so so she recognized, she smiled, and I was like, yeah, we're cool. Sorry, I just like didn't expect to see you there, and I was already feeling fucking flustered because like I was on a date with someone else again for the same reason. Sure. It's awkward.
Right.
I mean, with that girl, we'd already established that I wanted to take her on a date, and she was like, oh, sorry, I'm like starting to see someone seriously, and I was like, okay.
Wait, that's insane.
And I really think it could have been 3 separate apps. Like I was on a Hinge date, you from Bumble, and then the Tinder,
Oh my gosh, and then
the trifecta.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I love it as an outside viewer. You probably didn't love it.
No, but it's funny. It's a funny story now.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I was telling like all your friends at your party.
That's really hilarious. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. And then, so I messaged you and said I saw you there.
Yeah, and I was like, oh shit.
And you're like, that's crazy. Anyways, should we go out?
It was before we like went on a date, before we like actually met in person. Because we didn't even like acknowledge each other. But but then when you said that, I was like, shit, I think I recognized you.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm dead. Okay.
Yeah.
How did you perceive me?
You just
weirdo?
You just looked like you were having fun.
You're like, she's having too much fun and this is mid.
No, it was just like you were with your friends. I think someone had a joint.
We were gone both times.
Yeah.
Not there.
Okay, it's the only way to do it.
It's the only way to do it.
Was it actually fun?
From my perspective, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then so we were high and we had been smoking the whole time, but like before we even went, like before we even left our house, we were like, maybe we should stay home. That kind of, you know?
Yeah.
But then we were like, let's go, and we went. It was me, Louise. I don't know if you met him at the party. He was there.
I'm not sure.
Well, I think he was there because I saw him and then I never saw him again.
Okay.
So I was like, whoa. Mm-hmm. And then my roommate at the time. So
you guys just like looked like you were having a good time. I was like, they're having fun. I can't say the same of myself.
Was it the company or just the environment?
It was just the environment.
Okay, real.
I just like
it wasn't a date vibe. Like, okay, can I actually say something that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go on a date. Our first date to a silent disco.
Are you trying to have me like imagine that? Like what? Is this?
She's not picking up what I'm putting down.
Humiliated? Like.
I mean, So, like, for me personally, here's the thing. When I go out with someone and they're like, hey, do you want to go to a movie as our first date? I'm like, no. Right?
Yeah.
I kind of get that same vibe of, like, a silent disco.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, well, like, we didn't actually partake in the silent disco part of it.
Oh, I'm dead.
Yeah, you know, just, like, the main event. Yeah.
You were just there.
We were just there.
You didn't even have headphones?
I mean, I think we tried them at one point. Like, we did that for a little bit, and I was like, this is weird, because everyone's on a different wavelength, which I guess is, like, the point.
Were you overstimulated?
Yeah, I mean, I usually am. No, we were actually making an effort to talk. It was a good date, honestly.
Okay.
We never had another one, but
right.
It was a good date. Mm-hmm. She says it's because she's busy. Okay, that's it.
She's checking her schedule.
Yeah, she's
still actively
checking her schedule for a year. I truly have no beef with her. It's like whatever. It's
funny.
Yeah, no, I wanted to actually like talk to her and get to know her, so we didn't. That's why we weren't doing the silent disco most of the time.
For sure. Okay.
And like you know, there was like other stuff. They had like the roses. There was like a craft center. I don't remember.
Oh, was there?
I think so. They had like a big like collage or whatever you could.
Oh, interesting.
I don't fucking know. Like
collage some shit.
Yeah.
Right.
And there were drag performances. That's what I meant to say. So
there was.
Yeah.
Where was I?
I don't know. I can't speak to that.
That's crazy. She said, I can't speak to it. I didn't fucking see you. Move on.
Were you there only physically to that time?
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. You said you're really high. Really drunk.
I was so high that night. Oh. And then this one just last month or whatever, or this month, oh my god, I was really drunk. Like we had a barbecue pool party prior to where we were just gonna like pregame and stuff, but then me and my friend literally shared a bottle of pre-mixed margarita, like the entire bottle.
Okay.
That's like this big. Mm-hmm. We split it, just the two of us.
Usually not
exactly
what's supposed to
in one sitting. Mm-hmm. Probably not the best plan of action.
Probably not.
Was so drunk even before we left, kind of scared, probably blacked out, if I'm being honest.
But you remember that you had fun.
Sure.
You were like, I was like, I trust that I did.
It was so fun. But then I saw the footage after because one of my friends collects all the content, and it was humiliating. Wow. You know. Okay. Anyways, that's how we met.
Yeah.
Well, after. We didn't meet that way, but...
Yes. Last year, yes. Mm-hmm. We met after that.
And then I remember that I messaged and I said... Oh, no, you messaged first and you were like, hi, this is Andrea from Tinder. And then you were like, I mean Bumble? Bumble. Like, just to be like, hey, it's me from whatever. Didn't match on that app. But,
oh, wait.
You know, and then you were like... Not even like, and then you were fully just like, I mean Bumble, question mark? And I was like, honestly, good for her work.
I forgot about that.
I loved that.
Oh, because I got your number, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, you're from Tinder, right? And I mixed up the apps. Yeah,
it's just honestly real. I love it. I'm glad that you didn't say like, hi, Dayna, because like you probably would have been like, hey, Steph from Tinder.
I knew your name. I just knew it was one of the apps. Okay.
And then you went to then explain the lore about how you got banned from Tinder.
Yeah.
And I was like, great start. I love this.
Okay, but like you can get banned from Tinder for like any reason.
So like me personally, I haven't been banned. They
never explained to me why they banned me.
That's weird.
Then Hinge banned. It was like
Hinge too.
It was like a chicken and the egg sort of situation. I think it was Tinder first. Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Because I think when I went on Hinge after I got banned from Tinder, she was banned from Tinder. We should probably ban her. We're not gonna ask questions.
Yeah.
We're just gonna do it and then not explain it to her. Yeah. Like I think literally if anyone reports you, I was thinking it was a man who like maybe got offended that I said capitalism was bad. I don't know.
Okay, but let's unpack that. So,
a lot.
Men. Conservatives, you swipe, right?
Wait, I was just making shit up. I don't. That was so long ago. I think it was. I mean, it might have been like a lib, right? A liberal who was like, we need to negotiate with the genocider.
Oh no.
Okay, well, I wouldn't have been saying that back then, but you know.
But like,
you get the point.
Yeah.
We just need to reform the system that massively disadvantages a large portion of people. You know, that's doable.
For sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I really don't know. That's just me speculating.
For sure.
For any reason.
That's crazy, honestly. And so that was just a funny introduction. Mm-hmm. And now it's a year later and you're on my podcast.
I know, crazy.
Kind of crazy.
Because we had been Instagram friends for a minute. Yeah, you were like, I'm having a day party. You should come. And I was like, obviously. And it was so much fun. It was a very well put together party. Was it? No, I was like impressed. Like the whole like goodie bags.
Wasn't that so cute? That was all Val.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And little like consumers to me was like, I had to like hold myself back. Like, do not take it.
You should have went crazy.
There was literally a sign that was like, be generous. Save something for everyone. Right. But like I took a little bit of everything. But like there was so much. I was like, how amazing. There was a charcuterie board. I did make that together.
Good. Hard flex.
Whatever. It was so dark I couldn't tell like what I was getting, but like I could see the vision.
Thank you.
And it was good.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
As a charcuterie connoisseur myself,
tea.
I was impressed.
So do you make them too?
Yes.
Okay.
The last one I did when I had a game board party.
Yeah.
And I'm lactose intolerant, right?
Real.
And so it's like kind of a conflict.
Yeah.
But I love cheese.
Okay.
And I love just the art of it. I bought like it's kind of a book from Barnes and Noble of just charcuterie inspo.
Okay, cute.
And I actually use it. I actually like lay the stuff in front of me, and I'm gonna add a lactate cup.
Okay.
And
that's hilarious.
As part of the layout, it was like embedded into it.
Really funny.
That's
so fucking
blurry.
funny.
It's a cup of lactate, and I labeled it. In case.
So basically, you just like you're like I see you and I hear you.
Exactly.
I'm there for you.
Yeah.
Missionary.
Exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're gonna change like the movement. You're starting the movement for like equal rights. Like you can be lactose intolerant and you can enjoy charcuterie.
And be accepted in society.
That's crazy.
It's honestly humiliating to like go out in a public place and like I have my little lactate packets and they're like cleaning up my plates and it's just like little packets there. And it's like I just want to be seen as an equal in society, you know?
Yeah.
So I decided to take that stigma away. It was all unwrapped. Yeah. And just out in the open.
I love that.
Yeah.
There's no shame.
No shame.
Right? This is stimulating conversation.
I'm so glad. Okay, I'm so happy to hear that.
This is great. But I do have some questions I want to ask.
Okay.
There's so much lore to you. There really is.
I am a whole person.
There's a lot of layers to peel back, I think. But I'm really, really good at doing that. It's like one of my favorite pastimes.
Right.
Okay? For sure. So, I don't know. Like, I'm like, do we start easier? Do we just jump in?
Probably should ease into it.
Okay, right, for sure.
Okay.
Of course. Top, bottom, or switch?
Oh my god.
Just easy.
I've never topped before. I'm bisexual, right?
Real.
So.
Oh yeah, let them know.
Yeah.
Sexuality, orientation, pronouns.
Okay. Andrea, she, her, hers. I'm bisexual. I'm 23.
And your IG will be linked in the show notes.
Yes.
What's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Virgo.
Okay.
Wait, what's your sign?
I'm a Leo. Yeah, not the sigh.
It all makes sense.
It's coming together. We went out once, and that's it. And she like threw a glass on the floor and shattered everything. Do you remember that
story? What are you talking about?
Do you actually remember that though?
That didn't happen. What are you talking about?
So I was at your house.
Okay.
And we were like
all over the place.
She was everywhere. It was really fun to watch.
Oh.
I didn't really know what was going on for a while.
That like scares me. I didn't know I'd give that impression. Oh my god.
It was fun. It was a fun time.
Okay, so like you enjoyed it. Okay, you weren't like scared.
I'm just kidding. Well, like first I had to like fight for my life to find where to go in that fucking little parking garage. Oh my god, I almost turned around and went home. Like it was crazy.
Even with the giant like guest parking sign?
I'm fucking dead. It was like hidden though.
Maybe. If there was like an SUV in front of it, maybe.
So fucking dead. That's crazy.
I'm sorry,
was there literally a sign outside though?
Yes. Well, it wasn't outside.
Yeah, exactly. It was inside. Yeah, you had to find it first.
Well, yeah, but it was in the middle.
But you had to find it.
Yeah.
That little like, no, just kidding. I'm in and out. Like,
I will say the roundabout part of it can get a little tricky.
Exactly.
Once you're out, you kind of can't come back.
Yeah, I looked like a fucking jackass going past in and out, doing the left turn lane, U-turn, back, still missed it, and did it again like 3 more times. God.
Wow.
I should have went home.
You made your rounds.
Yeah.
I honestly would have blamed you if you just gave up.
It's like I can't. It's not gonna work. Like, I don't know. So I eventually did get there, and then you broke a glass of something. Was it limes? Was it the limes that you were like fermenting?
I don't think that was ever an error of mine.
You put limes in a jar
with water, and you were probably like, "What is wrong with her?"
And there was limes in there.
Because I just like read somewhere.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just assumed you.
No, you explained it.
Okay.
You explained it, and I was like, okay, good for you. And it was great because you were making margaritas.
Yeah,
that was what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were like, "Do you want a drink? Do you want a margarita?" Oh my god, I'm gonna make one. It's fine. I said, "Do you need a hand?" No, it's okay. Going in and out of the door, in and out of the door of that little fucking pantry, something. I don't know. In and out. She's just walking around. She's not started making the drinks yet. And I'm like, okay. I'm trying not to watch you because I'm like, she's not doing well right now. So like, I'm not gonna watch. So I'm gonna just look at the apartment. And I was like, okay, cool, popcorn machine.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like legit popcorn machine.
Yeah.
I was just taking everything in. So she's still going in and out of doors. And so then eventually I turn back and starts pulling the ingredients out of the fridge. And you're reaching for something. And then all of a sudden something falls. Glass is shattered everywhere.
Okay.
And you're just like there. And you're just looking down. And I'm like, are you okay? And you're like, yeah, I'm like so great. And I was like, okay, like, do you need help? And you're like, absolutely not. I'm really perfect right now. And I'm not wearing shoes.
Yeah.
Glass in my feet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fully embedded.
And I was like, maybe she's like bleeding. I don't know. I'm sitting on the couch. I can't see past the island. And you're like deciding, do I clean it up? Do I keep moving? What do I do? So you were just standing there, which is fine.
Yeah.
And I was like, should I leave? I was like, should I go? Like, I think I asked you, I was like, should I go? And then you were like, oh my god. So I was just trying to break the ice. I was like, this is not, things aren't going well.
I already broke the glass.
So I'll break the ice.
Yeah. You know.
But
courtship.
There you go. That's how it goes.
It's a whole ritual.
There we go.
I don't remember any of that.
Really? That's so funny.
That's not what I remember.
She said, I blacked that shit out.
I did black that shit out because that's so embarrassing.
You're like, we never went out. What are you talking about?
No, I remember we tried to make bracelets.
Oh, yeah.
And we trauma dumped and
we really fucking did.
We got in it, yeah.
2 margaritas and I'll trauma dump.
Yeah. I mean, explanation for that. I mean, I was probably just so nervous. And I
because it was early on, right, for you?
What do you mean?
Like living your truth out of your relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I still get like that. I also have pretty moderate to severe ADHD, so really? Like,
I know.
Can I complete a task, especially when someone is perceiving me? No.
Okay. Did you feel like I was judging you?
No, I don't really.
She's like, I didn't remember that.
Again, I blocked it out completely.
It's okay. I'm sorry for bringing it back up.
No, you're fine. I mean, you're so real for that.
I just thought it was really funny and it was endearing. I hope you know that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's sweet. Like if a man did it, I'd be like, ick.
Yeah.
And I will leave.
Okay, it's good to hear that I was charming somehow.
Fucking dead.
Because I was probably just like, I was scrambled. I'm usually scrambled.
Yeah. I think you were like explaining the lore about your dad too while you were doing it.
Okay, yeah, so that was my mistake. I cannot do 2 things at once.
Yeah, okay.
Ever.
Layers there.
Okay, so anyways, top or bottom or switch?
Oh,
right. So I've never like had a penetrative sex with a woman.
Okay,
or
real.
A femme.
Okay. Or femme.
So I mean, I've only had experience as a bottom.
Okay, real.
I was actually supposed to do a strap-on situation with a girl I was seeing, and then she accused me of stealing her wedding ring. So the whole thing ended, and I had already purchased it, so it's just like sitting under my bed, unused.
Collecting dust
in the box.
Okay, so there's so many things about that sentence.
Pick whatever point you want to start with. Yeah.
Wow, there's just so much to unpack with like one sentence. First time gonna strap with a woman, purchased it, accused you of stealing the wedding ring. Let
me just explain the situation. Okay, so this
she's a married woman,
separated, but they live together. You know how it is,
right? How old was she?
I was 21 at the time, and she was 23.
Okay.
Yeah.
21 sounds like such a baby.
I know.
Oh my god.
That's a baby. I was so young. Yeah, that was my baby gay era. She was like probably the second girl I ever did anything with.
Okay.
She was a stripper. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
And she was like so normal.
Right. Did you meet her at her place of work?
No.
Oh,
that would have been fun.
That would have been fun.
We met on Tinder.
Okay.
And she was just like, okay, come over. And I was like, okay. We did use toys together though. It was fun.
Okay, cool.
It was only like a few times that we saw each other, and then and so she lived with her ex-husband, right? Because it was like a whole, like, they came from a small town and then they got married, realized this wasn't for them.
Okay.
But like, you know, weren't out of their living situation yet. So he was on the couch and we were in her room doing things and he was out there. They're technically still married.
To this day?
I don't know about that.
Oh.
I kind of lost most contact with her.
Right. The most is, I did get caught up on the most.
No, I mean, we have each other on Snapchat. I can't say I ever check her stories, but like,
yeah.
But yeah, she fucking pissed me off because she was so chill at first, and I thought it could work out as like a casual thing, which is what I was looking for at the time.
Right.
And then so I came over one night, and then the next day she texts me and she's like, "Hey, like, did you like see my wedding ring around? Because you know, like, you were over. Did you like see it out or anything? I can't find it." And I was like, "No, I'm sorry. I didn't see it. I didn't perceive a wedding ring." And she was like, it was just like in my jewelry box. I can't find it now. And I'm like,
you're
so
like, you
sorry.
thought I went through your jewelry box is insane.
I don't know. I mean, I think at the time she was just asking me like if I happened to see a ring out like while I was in her room. And I was like, no.
You're like, I was a little preoccupied.
Yeah.
Right.
And I was just like, I'm so sorry. That must be so stressful. She was so stressed because it was like her ex-husband it was like an heirloom, right? Like his grandmother gave it to him to give to her. Oh, okay. And so she was like freaking out and she was like, I haven't told him yet. She texted me and then like I have the decency to check in about the situation. I'm like, have you found the ring yet?
Yeah.
Right? A couple days after that, she was like, I'm sorry, Andrea. I just like, I hate to say this, but like, I can't come up with any other explanation. Like, we just met each other, but like, I think you saw it.
I was gaslighting you.
Essentially.
And then you were like, did I? Me, like, my intrusive thoughts being like, did I take it? Like, am I a kleptomaniac? Like, holy shit.
Did I black that hole out? No, I didn't. Obviously, I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, like, what the fuck? And I was like, I know we just met, but like, I thought we were chill. This is a big thing to accuse someone of.
Right.
And she was like, yeah, but like, that's the thing, we did just meet. And I'm like, but I'm normal. Right? Like, don't I seem normal to you?
Yes.
And she just like couldn't let go of it. And then she texted me, I don't know, like a couple days later. We had to just like leave it off where it is. I'm just like, okay, whatever.
For sure.
You can believe your truth. Okay, whatever. But like, I don't have a fucking wedding ring, okay? And she texted me and she's like, Andrea, I'm so sorry. I asked my ex-husband and he said he took it without telling me. And I'm like, you didn't think to ask, because her whole thing was like she was scared that he would find out and be mad at her.
Right.
And I'm like, but logically, the only other person who would have the ring is the guy who still lived with you.
Exactly.
Who technically still had a bedroom with you because it was a 1-bedroom apartment. Who the fuck else would take it?
About the 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah, and she had talked about going to the police about it before confronting her ex-husband. And I'm like, no wonder you guys fucking didn't work out.
Yeah.
Because like
communication, babe.
Yeah. So obviously I stopped talking to her.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, we had talked about having sex with the strap-on. Not the strap-on specifically. We like agreed on the strap-on.
And you were gonna strap up.
Don't remember if we had talked about who was doing what.
Yeah.
But someone was going to wear it. We had also talked about having a threesome with this other girl who she met on a dating app. And I was looking forward to that. And then that also didn't happen.
Right. Okay, so now they're just strap collecting dust. And then there's a threesome that has not been had.
Mm-hmm.
But they're still there, like, that's moving toward execution.
I can't say that it is. I mean, definitely not with her.
Well, yeah, with her.
Not with her ever. But I mean, like, would I be open to it in the future? Yeah. But like, sure. There's no progress towards that at the moment. I can't say.
Yeah.
I unfortunately cannot say that I've moved any closer to unboxing the strap-on.
Not the unboxing. Okay, so actually, I think these two questions kind of bleed into each other a little bit. You got a little bit of lore. All-girl Catholic school.
Yeah.
And also, that leads into being there, having feelings, repression, all of that. Mm-hmm. But then also being like, these feelings eventually coming out. What's the journey there?
So, yeah, I grew up with a very Catholic family. I grew up going to church every Sunday.
Okay.
And I went to Catholic elementary school, thought I was straight, being told, like, man, woman only.
Mm-hmm. Save yourself for marriage.
No abortion.
Yeah.
And just
you want to be a wife and a mother.
And just all so much, like, pseudoscience around it, too.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, so, like, and I didn't get the gay panic until, I did. So I went to like a co-ed elementary Catholic school, and then I went to high school at the local all-girls Catholic school here in Phoenix. And freshman year, I was like, what's happening to me?
Yeah.
Why am I thinking like that about
like, holy fuck.
girls? Freshman year, I was freaking out. I had like a couple small crushes on girl athletes. And I went through this whole thing of like cross country runner. First, she was like a senior. She's popular. And senior. Okay, age gap. My second year, my sophomore year is when it really got like battle within myself. It was this girl who I low-key took a math class just because she was in it.
Shut the fuck up. I love that.
Because the way I said it to myself was like, oh no, I can't like leave her alone in there. Was because I was like quote unquote like advanced in math and like she was like
I was just like a mathy. She was just like an idiot.
No.
So when I was her tutor and nothing was doing it.
I wish that's how the story was. Yeah, and she was also an athlete. So here's the thing too, like I gaslit myself so much when I was in that vulnerable time because I was just like, well, do I just want to be her? Yeah. Like she was really smart too, and like we were like in the same advanced English group. There was like a little like advanced, they call it great books. Okay. It's like a little above honors, but like it was like this little like mini cult in every grade. Anyway, so she was part of that. Okay. And yeah, she sat in front of me. That's how much I'm exposing myself right now. She sat in front of me and I would just stare at the back of her head all day. And she'd turn around and talk to me. Oh my god. And I fucked up my math brain because of that. Because like the thing is, like I was in algebra 2 and then our options were to go to like pre-calc or like a calc, pre-calc hybrid or stat. And I was like, stats. That one doesn't make sense, but she's doing it. So, real. And like she can't, and like the other students who were in that class were all seniors. And I was like, I can't leave her alone. How is she gonna fend for herself?
Exactly. I'm protecting her.
Exactly.
Okay, mouse.
Oop. You get it. So there you go. We became friends, right? Because she literally had no other choice but to talk to me because I was the only other sophomore in the class. There you go. Yeah. And you were like, friends to lovers will happen, and then unfortunately. She has a white boyfriend, and I don't think she's ever had a queer thought in her life. Well, who knows? Right. And I would like stare at her in our classes, and I'd be like, "Yeah, we're just friends. This is normal."
You're like, I just like you a totally appropriate amount. Yeah, and that's it.
I just really admire you.
I admire you so much.
As I aspire to have your athleticism and your scholarliness.
There you go.
You know?
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah. And she was like popular. Okay. But she was like humble. She wasn't like annoying popular. Oh my god.
She's like, she was my first love. And I haven't even
that was my first woman-loving woman. I never had to know how to say the WLW. Yeah. Like I read it and I'm like, that makes sense, but I'm like, woo?
That's so funny.
That was my first woman-loving woman heartbreak.
Okay. And that is one that you will never get over.
Of course.
I definitely get that first like heartbreak though, especially your first like woman-loving woman. Definitely changes you and alters the trajectory of like everything.
Yeah, and I will say, I mean, like obviously like having those feelings stirring up in me while I was in a Catholic school. Yeah. It's not a good feeling. Okay. When you're like, I'm not supposed to be feeling that. Yeah. Okay. We're just gonna ignore that. And like,
I really like the British accent.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm not going to, but I could do that for the rest of this episode. The rest of the podcast, she's just British. Yeah. God.
That is how
I am that girl. But I just repress that and be like, well, hopefully I'll get over this. Okay. Or just like I knew I was so attracted to guys, and but like I was surrounded by girls, so it's like, who else am I gonna look at?
No, literally.
Of course, I was gonna figure it out then.
Yeah, exactly.
But they were all I could look at.
But then you didn't come out until
I was like 20. Okay. So yeah, repressed that for the rest of high school, and I was like, okay, we're gonna deal with that later. And then I got out of high school, was in public school. Also, I was in a relationship with a man.
Okay. From high school?
Boy, actually, yeah.
Wait, I remember this lore.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, towards the end of high school, I have tried to black that one out.
For sure.
But it did happen, I must admit. And but we broke up like January. That was my first like heartbreak.
Yeah.
Because of my first relationship. So we broke up like January of my freshman year. Also, and like during that time, so my platonic love of my life, her name is Shraddha.
Yeah.
Shraddha, if you're listening, I love you. I will make her listen to this podcast now. But we were matched randomly as roommates at at Barrett.
Yeah.
And we just like clicked immediately. That's amazing. She's still my best friend. She lives in New York and she's working for Columbia because she is a peak girl boss.
Okay.
She is so smart. She was like valedictorian of her basis class, which basis, you know what basis is?
Yeah.
She's so fucking smart.
Like,
but like so humble about it. So funny. But she's also bi, so like
I love that.
So when we met, I remember my birthday is in September, so like a month after we were living together, we like my brother got me a bottle of sangria for my 19th birthday. Yeah. And I came home to the dorm that night and I was like, do you want to drink this with me? He's like, yeah. And so we were just like drunk on the couch, like drinking our sangria. And I was like, I want to ask you about something. And she was like, what? She was like, and I was like, you're bi, right? She was like, yeah. And I think I don't remember exactly how that conversation went, but I was just like asking her, like, yeah, like, how did you figure that out? And like, when did you figure that out? And so she really did help kind of validate and like solidify my identity there. It was a safe space to like question everything because I hadn't gotten to. Yeah,
that's nice that you had that.
I really did not become a real person until I got to college.
Yeah, of course.
It's a huge change to like be in a space where you're like I remember that freedom, like how it felt, and
absolutely.
I was like, oh, I think for myself.
Absolutely.
I'm not just being told what to believe, which is crazy. So yeah, very freeing for me. And I will also say, like, I was lucky to fall in such good circles because like I met her and it was a lot of her friends for like her old school, but they were all like, I'm still friends with a lot of them, and they were all very left-leaning people too.
Okay, good.
So they all radicalized me within a year. It was very efficient. And also because like after my freshman year, it was 2020, and then a lot of people got radicalized that year. Mm-hmm. Okay, so with my high school ex, so we broke up in January, and then it was stupid, and I texted him a month later, and we had this whole like, we're talking, but we're just friends phase. Everything's fine here. Mm-hmm. It wasn't, because he's a white man, and he was friends with the white men. Yes. Mostly, they had to start a podcast because an obligation.
Absolutely, that's like the rite of passage.
Not one that we ever asked for, but like, yeah. Yikes. So they started this podcast, and I listened to it obviously because I didn't have any self control, and
I am their number one fan.
Yeah, and also it was the pandemic; no one was doing anything.
For sure.
And so it was not really structured, but he started talking about me on one of the episodes. And I had a conversation with him about, the human event. Yeah. The literature and debate, and not debate, but like Socratic Circle, like write essays, whatever, for Barrett. And we had just read the Communist Manifesto. And we were talking casually, whatever. Yeah. And I was telling him, like, I read the Communist Manifesto, and actually has like really good points. This was before I was like fully radicalized, right? Right. I was like liberal at this phase. And he was like, oh, okay. He goes on this podcast. He's telling his conservative ass friends. Oh, did I forget to mention he was from North Carolina? He was from the South. Like fully from the South.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
That makes sense now.
That's why I tried to black this out. Okay. And so he was like, I was talking to my ex, and she was saying that like she kind of agreed with the Communist Manifesto, and these guys were like, oh, that's crazy, whoa. And I fucking text him, I call him, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why are you talking about me? Yeah. That's not cool. Mm-hmm. And I was also offended at the time that he was calling me a communist. Okay. I didn't know. He gets them to take that part of the episode out. Oh, okay. Yeah, I advocated for myself. And then, but also like more business anyway. No, so for sure. Yeah, and so like during that summer is when like I was radicalized. I had very good, very knowledgeable friends talk me through through all this. I came to the conclusions on my own. And then I had tweeted at the time. I was like, oh, I love it when my ex accuses me of being a communist on his public podcast or something like that. And then I was like, he was right. Because I am a communist.
You're like, so. I did retweet it recently, and
so yeah, I have a history of podcasts.
For sure.
Yeah.
Now the tables have turned, and you're on a podcast talking about him.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah. He's gonna text me and be like, "Why are you talking about me?"
Take it down. You're like, he isn't blocked.
I don't know where he is. I don't know what his existence is. He did reach out to me like a year after that and was like, "Do you want to like get coffee or something?" And I was like,
"You're like, I'm a communist."
I don't know if you've heard, but I actually am a communist. I did confirm. I don't actually want you in my life.
There you go.
I'm actually fine.
Okay. And then you got into another long-term relationship after that.
For 2 years, yeah.
Okay. And then that one ended, and then you moved to the neighborhood?
Yeah. I was in a 2-year relationship with a man, unfortunately. And it actually ended up ending because, so at that point, I hadn't done anything with a girl besides like maybe kissed one.
Yeah.
Maybe. And I was like, hey, I have gay thoughts. I've never gotten to act on these thoughts.
There you go.
Could I act on them in the boundaries of this relationship?
Oh, okay.
He was like, no.
Right.
And I was like, but, and he was like, no. And I was like, oh. And I mean, okay, there was like more back and forth to it. Like at first we were like, oh, well, maybe we could do something together. But then I was like, well, I kind of want like my own experience.
Okay.
I was like, no, I'm not secure enough for that.
Okay,
and
for sure.
So yeah, we just like couldn't negotiate and it ended. And I realized after it ended that there was actually much more wrong with that relationship than me questioning my sexuality.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah,
so
but
that like allowed you to at least that allowed you at least to like get out and then look back.
Exactly.
With new like lenses or whatever.
Oh my God, yeah. That was such a big moment for me. It was so scary at the time. I was just talking to my therapist about this recently because we were talking about how I can overcome things.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it was just big for me because I felt like I felt like I was in this position where I was like, I have to choose between being myself and, you know, expressing and living in my sexuality and my authentic self, or staying with someone who I thought I loved or who I did love at the time and I thought I wanted to end up with. Yeah. And that's a scary thing.
Absolutely, for sure.
I fucking chose myself though.
Good for you. For sure. And that's like a big part, like obviously that was like a big part of your story for so long, of course.
2 years.
So yeah, you're in that time period of the most like developmental like time of your life, you know? Yeah. You know, adulthood and all that shit. So like of course that's gonna be very like transformative to like big effect.
Yeah. And it was. And like I had this. And then, like, so, like, a month after we broke up, is when I did something with a girl for the first time. Yeah. Huge moment for me. It was great.
Good for you.
Good sex. We never did anything after that. But
it was like a stepping stone.
It was a stepping stone. And he accidentally found out about it. Immediately. Because
immediately is crazy.
Because we also did that thing where we didn't do no contact because we were too attached to each other.
Of course.
Because again, we were dating for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know.
So did you tell him?
Okay, so what happened, right, is on Lyft, there's a feature where you can, when you take ride, it's like you can make it a different setting for like every ride or like only rides at night. It'll send a notification automatically to another person if you put them in there. Okay. When you take a ride in those parameters.
Right.
And he was my boyfriend, right? So I had him on there.
Of course.
Forgot to take him off.
So you got notified.
Yeah. I called a Lyft to like downtown Phoenix on like a Saturday night at like 10, right?
Right.
He texts me immediately after I call it, and he's like, where are you going? And I was like, he was like, why are you going downtown? And I was like, is it any of your business? I was like, I'm going out with a friend. And he was like, are you going on a date? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you know, pretending to be cool about it.
You're going on a date at 10. Cool.
Yeah. He was like pretending to be cool about it. He was like, oh, okay. And, I was like, yeah, I'm going to go out with this girl.
Yeah.
And he was like, okay, whatever. And then I have my night, big night. And then he texted me the next morning. He's like, so how was it? And I was like, why are you asking?
Not the pretending to be friends is crazy.
No, we were delusional. We were fully and so he was like, ask me about it. I was like, yeah, it was good. I wasn't gonna like elaborate and like go into detail. Obviously I was sensitive to like, you don't want to hear this. And so he was like, okay, cool. And then like we stopped texting, and then later that day he's like, I'm going to be so honest. That hit me a lot harder than I thought it would. I had to call my mom and I was crying to her over this. And I was like...
I wish you guys could see me. Just make sure the little slide with the finger behind your hair.
Yeah.
The hair back.
And but like even at the time, I was just like, what do I do? Like, what am I supposed to say in this moment?
I'm really sorry. I hate pussy.
Like, I think, I was just like, I don't know what to tell you. This is literally why I broke up with you.
Yeah.
Oh, you also didn't have to ask about it.
No, you asked.
He asked. He initiated the conversation about this.
For sure.
I just told him what he asked me. And then he got upset because he was hurt, understandably so. But I was just like, So that was one sign that we shouldn't have been talking.
Yeah.
And then he started seeing another girl, and like, why were we still talking? I like, this is all very like, I hate like saying this. I had it matured at that point, and he told me that like he met a girl, they did stuff. I think they're still dating right now, actually. Okay. Good for them, I guess. But like, and I was really mad about that. Yeah. I'm trying to remember. I said some really out of pocket stuff to him.
Oh God.
Should I expose myself? Yes. Okay. Again, I was in a different mental state. I'm much more grown and developed. But I told him, if I go into another manic episode because of this, I'm blaming you.
I fucking love that.
And he was like, that is not okay to say.
You're like, too late.
Too late.
It's starting.
It's out of my mouth. Because actually this man was around. I feel so bad for him. But like, he was around when, so I had a little loony bin time, and he was around for that. That was actually the very beginning of our relationship.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah. I was like, hey, you're in it for the long run? You gotta deal with this.
Okay.
Crazy. She's crazy. Yeah. So that was probably traumatizing for him, for both of us. But so that was like referring to that. I was like, if I go psycho again.
Oh, okay.
It's because you
drove me there.
Right. Because you got in a relationship which you were fully in the right to do.
Right. Yeah. How long after you guys broke up did that happen?
Did he get into another relationship? I think it was April, and we broke up in February. So I'm still like, that was kind of quick. Yeah. For you. I mean, like, I like hooked up with a girl, but like I wasn't, but like they were like official.
Yeah, that's like a relationship.
Yeah, I'm like, you sure you're ready for that? Okay, whatever. But like, whatever. Yeah. It's cool. I actually reached out to him recently on his birthday, and I was like, what did I say? Well, I said happy birthday, dumbass. And then I said, and then I was like, hope I didn't ruin your day. And then he was like, no, you didn't. But sometimes your tweets do, because I do tweet about him, because it's part of my lore and it's entertaining. And
I'm so fucking dead.
And I was like, oops. And then
you're like, I will continue to do that.
I will continue to do that. I will continue to speak my truth. Period. But, and then we kind of just had like sorry if that I was kind of shitty to you, and like, hope you're fine. And then I was also like, just to be clear, just be so clear, I never want to, because I think I was like, oh, we should be friends, but then I was like, oh, like maybe it's too early to call that whatever. Yeah. And I was like,
maybe we should be friends, but then you decided that's probably not for the best.
Yeah, well, like, he was just like, I just, like, wasn't ready to, like, reach out to you, and also, like, he was in a relationship at the time.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I get that. You don't want to make it weird.
Yeah, for sure.
And I was just like, I was like, to be so clear, I never want to be with you again. I just want to make that crystal clear. We were terrible together.
There you go.
And he was like, yeah, we were.
Oh, okay.
So, like, we have an understanding there. Right. And then he was like, so like, we're chill. Like, we don't talk. But like, there's no bad blood. But I do realize now with such clarity, I did not like that man, like, I was in a relationship for 2 years with a man I did not like.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Girl, stand up.
Yeah.
No, you're so real for that though. Like, it's okay. Like, we've all been there.
Have we?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah. Totally.
Comparable situation. Have you ever been in a relationship with a man?
Not really.
Good.
I don't count it ever, really.
Good.
There's this man, the last man, I tried for a minute, like, being like, what if I just, and like, it was just the worst time of my life. I was just like, I just want, never again. Never again. Yeah. And so it's so funny. Like, even whenever he comes up in conversation, and my cousin, literally, she would tell me, like, it would be crazy that you would leave to go hang out with this man, and then you would come back literally an hour later, like, home. And she's like, what are you doing back already? And it's like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean? But like, it was actually kind of a long time. Like,
that was a long time for you.
Too long. Like, no, literally, I would only see this man once a week. I literally would limit the amount of communication we had. And he was the type that was like, we could be together. Like, we can spend every night together if you want. Like, I'll make dinner for us every night. Like, we'd be together. Yeah. And I literally was like, so I'll see you once a week. For 1 hour.
This is normal.
And like, even when I was there, I was like, what if I was anywhere else? You know what I mean?
Wow.
So then I was like, I don't think I can ever date men, you know?
For all that I've been through with men, which is still like a fair amount. Yeah. I unfortunately am so attracted to that. I'm so sorry to say. So sorry to say.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
It's so funny.
You said I've been through the motherfucking trenches, and you're still like, but if a man wanted to, I still would.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. But anyway, so like after my breakup with my boyfriend of 2 years, I had this whole year of sexual discovery, and I'm so glad I chose myself, and I'm so glad I did that. I just feel like I'm so much more authentic.
There you go. Yeah, for sure.
Who I was a year ago, you know.
Absolutely.
What does a pussy taste like back then? And you know, now I know that and more.
Now she knows that and more. And more.
And more. And I don't know. And it was funny because like before I ever hooked up with a girl, I had that like self-gaslighting, like imposter syndrome, like doubt of like, well, what if I do it and I don't end up liking it, even though I like dream about it every second of the day, even though my TikTok algorithm keeps showing me lesbian content.
You're like, what if even though I literally can taste it.
I didn't feel it on my tongue. Yeah.
But like, what if I don't?
Yeah.
Because like, ew, I would never do that. The compet.
Yeah. No, it was so silly, and then I did it, and I was like, of course I like that. Of course, that was everything I've ever dreamed about and more.
For sure.
So yeah, and so I'm just so weird now.
There you go.
Like,
yeah.
I fully feel it. Not that you have to like. I'm very much about like, oh, like there are a lot of different ways to be bi. There are a lot of different ways to be whatever sexual identity, right? And
absolutely.
Like, that, you know, for me, it was necessary to like do that because my whole thought was like, what if I die without ever sleeping with a woman? I don't think I don't think I could do that. And so I had to end an entire relationship.
So you're like, I had to.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of ate that down.
Yeah.
Literally. I like literally ate that down.
Oh my god, I did. And
hello, Billy.
Hello, lunch.
Hello, lunch.
Oh my gosh, love her for that.
She's so fucking real for that.
It's not just. It's the way that she not only was like, okay, I'm out of the closet now. She's like fully out there.
Yeah.
And like, I'm so proud of her for that. And it's the way Billy was like, she can sit on my face.
No, she can literally like suffocate me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to make her come. Like fully saying that.
She said every day of the week. I'm there.
Every yeah. So I love her for that.
She's really real, and she just I see her and I hear her. It's crazy. I resonate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then that relationship ended.
Okay.
You got to explore yourself.
Yeah.
Whole new world.
A
whole new kind of fucking terrible side is the culture that we live in now. Mm-hmm. Not so much hookup culture, but now we're in nonchalance and situationship culture.
Yeah.
So obviously with exploring your sexuality and allowing yourself to pursue things with women leads to a woman-loving woman situationship.
Oh.
And the first one is fucking brutal.
Yeah.
So you want to dive in a little bit?
I don't know how far
you said
she could so hear this.
You're like, I'm gonna send it to her.
I'm gonna drop it.
I hope that she calls me.
Stop. No, I mean, yeah. I'm scared right now.
We don't have to talk about it either.
I mean, yeah, I did go through a little bit of a heartbreak, and it was.
For sure.
I mean, and she knows I felt that way.
Yeah.
So like, and like, there's no beef, no tea anywhere.
For sure.
But yeah, I mean, it was an experience that I went through, and it was brutal. And they are right that the Willowa heartbreaks hit different.
So fucking different.
So different.
Yeah. There's this saying that goes along basically saying that your first woman loving woman situationship can fucking derail your life more than, like, that ending can derail your life more than like a multiple year long like committed relationship.
Oh,
how do you take that?
Or there's that whole like the whole TikTok thing, like when the like 2-month situationship like fucks me over more than my ex. Yeah, relationship. That's really interesting. I
cannot relate.
I think they just fucked me up in different ways.
For sure.
Like, because like with my ex, it was like I didn't like him, and and like I don't know why I convinced myself that I liked him.
That's crazy. But you're so real for that. No, for sure.
Yeah, just not. We'd be together, and I'm like, why am I like I was so hesitant to like introduce him to my friends.
Really?
And, like, okay. It's like, why
for 2 years?
And I was like, it's normal when you're with your partner and like aren't enjoying their company at all, right?
Right. Totally.
Yeah.
Honestly, like me with my last like situationship. Yeah. So like I see you and I hear you.
Exactly. Yeah. The full delusion. They were just like not comparable situations. I feel like they just like what was your question?
I'm fucking dead. I guess just like compare. I guess it was originally like comparing. Like,
did it like fuck me over more
in different ways?
Yeah. Like it was just,
how heavy did it hit you? Because I know sometimes the first woman loving woman, like my situation, I'm trying to think my first official woman loving woman situationship, not counting fucking young first love of shit or whatever. But like actively seeing someone's situationship, that shit fucked me up. Yeah.
I think of bisexuality in this very like, there's my more feminine and my more masculine experiences, whatever. So like it felt like a new part of me had been hurt.
For sure. No, absolutely.
A different realm of me had been hurt.
Oh fuck.
And like I don't know, I feel like the way I like show whatever affection towards women or men, and it just, and I, again, that's in quotations, because like, I'm not opposed to anyone between the gender, what am I fucking saying?
The gender spectrum.
The gender spectrum. Sure. I would date anyone on the gender spectrum. I just have to be attracted to them.
Yeah.
But it did hit different, and just because I don't know, like with dating women, there's just I feel like there's already that depth of like, it's just different. And like that emotional understanding. And like I resonated with her. I think even though I only dated her for a month, I think I still liked her better than like the entirety of the 2 years I was with that man.
Yeah.
Like we resonated in a way that felt more authentic.
Don't you feel like, I'm sorry to cut you off.
You're good.
Like, do you feel like you can connect with women on a deeper level than you can with men?
Yeah.
Or it just depends on the situation?
Really interesting.
Me psychoanalyzing.
Yes.
Sorry.
It's just something that I'm always like thinking about.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I think that like because of society, I think there are just many ways that men tend to be lacking. We all know this.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially emotionally. And it's also just not that I want to make womanhood all about oppression, but like, the experience of like girlhood.
Yeah.
And going through like the inequalities that we do, and just like being a woman and like what that is, I would end up resonating. It just naturally, that point of connection is just like there, and like you just have the understanding of each other, and we both had that understanding of like men are terrible. And like, not that I've ever, when I've dated men, like they've also come to that understanding, like they understand that it's not all men. I'm not targeting them. They get it.
No, man.
It's not them. They know that, but they know what I'm saying when I say like not all men, but like
most men.
Different because like but most of them. There's a reason we say
except for the few, maybe like 3.
Yeah, there's a reason we say bears, not men. But like, yep. But what's so funny is like literally on my first date with that girl, we had a weird man encounter on that date. We were like sitting together. I mean, who knows if he like could catch on to that we were on a date.
Like, they're sisters. They look nothing alike, but they are sisters.
They're sisters. They are besties.
They're best friends.
But yeah, and so we were just like sitting on a couch together. I mean, granted, we weren't being like touchy with each other because it was our first date.
Yeah.
But he comes up to us and asks us, I don't know, and then he was like, "So what ethnicity are you guys?" Because she is a POC. Mm-hmm. And I was just like,
to just come up to someone and say,
yeah.
Wow. Okay.
It was like the second or third question he asked us. But like, even if we weren't on a date, it's just like weird to like come up to two people. And like, this was like, at Valley Bar on like a Tuesday night. Okay. Yeah. Like, there aren't a lot of people that we can spread out. There's a lot of room in here. It was so fucking weird of him. And he was like probably like in his 30s to come up to us, sit next to us on that couch. Ew. Little too close for comfort.
Much
too close for comfort. And we were just like, what the? And she was more polite than me, bless her. But like, I was making my faces. Yeah. Again, I don't hold back. Like, I was like making it very clear in my tone.
I'm uncomfortable.
I'm uncomfortable. Why are you talking to us?
Yeah.
And then I eventually was like, because he just tried asking us more questions that were probably also out of pocket, and just like, why are you asking about? Why are you even talking to us in the first place, right? And I
read the room.
Yeah, and we were just like, okay, we're gonna go now, and so we sit somewhere else, and then we also talked to like the security guard there, and we were like, this guy's weird. So
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so ironic and funny that we were able to like relate to that immediately, because we literally experienced it together. And then I think we also like got catcalled like on the way out downtown Phoenix. You know,
downtown Phoenix.
Yeah, so I can resonate with women about hating men.
Yeah,
in a way I can't with men.
For sure. You're like, how do I explain to you that
you're the problem?
You make me feel unsafe and uncomfortable at all times. But yeah, let's get dinner. Whatever.
Yeah, and like even like going into like encounters with women I have now, there is just also less of that concern of like safety right off the bat too. Not that like you should be careful with anyone, but I know I don't have that built-in instinctual fear.
Literally, I was like, I'll come to your house. Never met you.
I'll go to your house.
Yeah, I'll just go to your house. It's crazy. But I never once just think like, oh yeah, like I'll get murdered. But if it was a man, I'd be like, I'm not going to your house, you fucking weirdo. Why would you say that?
Exactly. Yeah.
Crazy. Mm-hmm. Talking about that a little bit, and obviously because you experience both scenarios, I kind of want to ask you about the whole hot topic that is bi erasure, and how does that like affect you?
Please ask me about this.
Literally, I want to hear. I see that it exists, and it's crazy. Speaking to people who tell me about it, I'm so intrigued. So I want to like hear from your point of view.
What's really interesting is like I read somewhere that essentially like bisexuality is like an invisible sexuality, because like when you're out with a man, people are assuming you're straight. When you're out with a woman, people are assuming you're gay. Well, if you're a good person, you're not assuming anything. Yeah, I mean, there was obviously just like the full like homophobic, queerphobic, I guess. Like I grew up Catholic, and like to this day, like my parents cannot
wrap their head around it.
Get behind it.
Can they not get behind like queerness at all, or the both?
I think they can't get behind me being a part of it.
Okay.
Yeah, like they not
right.
They can't accept that their daughter is partaking in that.
They were like, no, she's not.
No.
She's actually still dating that man she hates.
Yeah, and I've had multiple conversations with my mom and both my parents recently that just like start to get on that topic. Actually, my mom fully actually want to talk about bi erasure. So basically, I accidentally came out to my mom.
Accidentally is crazy. Okay.
So I was already getting into this realm last year at the peak of my self-discovery after I broke up with my boyfriend. It's not like I had been hiding it really like on social media, but I was like, posting girls on my story. I still do that. Like you put the pieces together. Right. I had like the pink, purple, and blue heart on my bio, so I wasn't hiding it, but I did make a post that was like, happy Pride Month, I'm bi, obviously. And so I
obviously,
but so it was out in the world then, but actually no, before that. So at ASU they have like a lot of different graduations. I signed up for like one for my college, for I think like the whole like university, and then there's one called the Rainbow Convocation, which is like for the queers.
I love that.
So I invited my family to the first two. not the last one, not the rainbow one.
Yeah.
For obvious reasons. I wasn't out to them yet. Well, I was out to my sister, but
yeah,
I was like forwarding the emails to my mom that I would get from like the photography company who took pictures at the graduation.
Yeah.
And I accidentally forwarded the ones from the rainbow convocation. And she was like, what is this? Why are you wearing that on your back? I wore a whole ass bi flag on my back at rainbow convocation. Yeah, no, it was safe, but it was a giveaway.
It was like, what are these colors?
What country is this?
What country is this? I've never heard of it. What is this?
And she like shows me the picture. And she was
You're like, that man back there is not real.
Who is that?
That's not me.
That's not me.
I'm gonna gas like the fuck out of you, Mom. That's crazy.
And she was like, what are you wearing? Yeah. And I was like, the bi flag. And she was like, what's that? Yeah. And I was like, bisexual. And she was like, why are you bisexual? And I was like, yeah. And she was just starting to make a fuss about it. And we were like at my family's house. My dad's like a few feet away. He's like, what's going on? And I was like, nothing, absolutely nothing. Right. So I kind of just ended the conversation there. And it very much is the kind of thing, I mean, until like this winter, in my family, we're like,
it just wasn't talked about.
I mean, like nothing was talked about.
Real.
But like, yeah. So like, of course, that wasn't. We don't talk about our feelings.
No, I get you. I totally get you.
Yeah. Not the most emotionally healthy or open environment. And so my mom was high, and she had to drive me home one night. Very embarrassing.
Okay.
Because I got too high, and she decides to use this opportunity to question me about everything.
Okay.
Everything that she finds wrong with me, including my sexuality. And she was like, so, because it like came up in conversation because she was just like asking about my friends. It was also every time I would bring up a friend and it happened to be a guy, she'd be like, so are you dating them?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, they're gay, or like, no, they're just my friend. Like, be normal.
Be normal.
I think I was explaining to her, like, one of my best friends is bi. And she was like, okay, like about that.
Yeah.
And I'm in the car, so like I can't like escape.
And you're high.
And I'm high, and then like very not emotionally equipped to talk about this. Right. But because I'm dumb and I'm like hopeful, I'm like, okay, whatever. Let's dig into this a little bit. And she was like, about the whole like bi thing, and then she essentially asked me like, what do you mean? Because I said like, oh, my friend is bi, and so am I. And she was like, never mind. Poetry. But she said, and she was like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I like girls, I like guys, I don't really care people's gender when I date them, right? Mm-hmm. And she was like, well, you know, there's a phase, you know, during young adulthood where it's like normal to feel same-sex attraction.
She's like, I've been there.
No, I thought about that after. I was like, she's like, no, about that.
Listen, it's totally normal to just like literally have feelings for women, but like it's normal, it will pass. Like, it's okay, I understand. Like it will pass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so she used to be a practicing doctor, a pediatrician. She went to med school, so like it kind of felt like a pseudoscience kind of thing moment, for sure. Right? I was just sitting there like, she's literally telling me that I'm in a phase right now, and I was like, obviously I mean I got kind of defensive about that
for sure. You're like literally invalidating. That's insane.
Like, she's totally invalidating me to my face. And then she was like, so you want to date girls? And I was like, yeah, I have. And she was like, what do you mean? She just like she could not wrap her head around it. And I was like, okay, I'm done talking about this. And, you know? Yeah. So yeah, it's just an interesting thing. Or like when I'm talking to, like I talked to my mom and dad recently about this most recent man I was dating recently, and they were asking me about him, and then I was like, oh, we broke up, and then went into this whole conversation about like, oh, when you pick your partner, and they were using like he him pronouns. Yeah. And I was just sitting there like, not gonna correct them. Yeah. Like it very much is the kind of thing where like
fight your battles.
Like, and I've learned the hard way that like when I try to like dig into those things, interpersonal things, it just always ends in shit for me. So, like, no,
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I have that same type of relationship with my father, so I totally get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just like the elephant in the room that you don't address. I mean, it's just like one of those things you can tell someone that, and they just like, it's one of those things where they won't even
acknowledge it.
Yeah.
No, literally. Okay. It's just like it does not.
They don't even hear those
enter
words.
Your cortex. Yeah. Like it's crazy. Mm-hmm. I think that might be the case with my dad, because like, you know, I posted about it publicly on Instagram. He follows me on Instagram, but it's a matter of like, well, we never talked about it right after I posted it.
Yeah.
so he could have missed the post. He very easily could see it. You know, I wasn't hiding it.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we never talked about it. I mean, my siblings are really accepting of it.
That's good.
Because they're normal.
Right. Same for mine.
Yeah. And it was funny because I was like visiting my parents' house and my sister was over and she comes up to me when I arrive and she was like, Happy Pride Month. And like for a second there, it was cute. No, but for a second there I was like, wait, yeah, hold on. No, wait, I was like, why am I saying that? Well, yeah, it is Pride Month.
Ew, what is that?
Yeah, gay people, go back.
I'm so happy for that.
I'm so happy for that.
Like ally.
Ally.
I'm dead as fuck.
So yeah, a little panic there, but then I was like, well, technically they didn't know, and then nothing happened beyond that. But that was like sweet of her.
That was cute of her.
Yeah. And then I dated a man after that girl, and then I guess I'm just like alternating now.
Really? Is that your pattern?
No, I just fell into that one.
Right.
I must confirm again. I am still attracted to men.
She said, unfortunately, the DMs are open, man. Did you wonder?
They're open. I hate to admit it, yeah.
Not that I hate to admit it's crazy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now, are you back in that space of post-situationship? Now I'm me time, finding me, working on me.
The way I'm coping with it is I was like, I texted this to my friend. I was like, when you get so heartbroken, you have to start a small business. Plugging myself.
There you go.
I don't even want to call it a small business.
It is.
Like, it is a hobby.
It's a small business. Stand on business.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah. So I sell jewelry and make and sell jewelry, and that's basically all I do in my free time now. I like fully. I mean, I was starting to get back into it when I was dating that man, but then after I broke up with him, I was like, okay, I'm going to pour all of my energy into this now, and it's been really fulfilling. It's so fun.
I love that.
I just launched an Instagram page.
Yes,
go check it out. And Dayna.jewelry is the handle. Give it a follow.
Alrighty.
I'm taking commissions. But yeah, like I'm just starting that up and figuring it out. I really am in this phase right now, and also about like dating and the situationship culture. Like, and I've talked to my therapist multiple times about that because like with this past man, I was like, why can he simply not get his shit together for me?
Yeah. For
sure. But like in our early 20s, right? Everyone is just in such different places in their lives. There are people who are like having their like third kid. There are people who are getting married. There's a girl in that stats class. There's a girl who is having a third kid, and I'm like, that's crazy. Can't imagine that.
Could never.
Hope you're happy, but like,
I would kill myself.
I would kill myself.
Yeah.
And so, and then there are people who like can't even figure out how to
toast their waffle.
Text back. Toast their waffle. Yeah.
Right. Text back.
And so the range is so big, and it's
crazy.
Like I don't want to keep floundering around here. I'm not a very like spiritual girly, but really. I am just letting the universe like decide when it's time for me, because like I was saying this earlier, like when I've tried pursuing things on like dating apps and stuff or even in person, I feel like I'm looking for love in the wrong places or whatever.
Okay, or whatever.
I'm not looking at whatever.
I kind of love that though.
Yeah, just like I don't want to force anything. And like I'm about to go into grad school. I worked as a speech therapist assistant for a year in a school, and I'm going into grad school for that.
Yeah.
So very exciting. So like now is not the time.
Yeah.
To be. I don't know if I could even handle a relationship while in grad school. You know, that would be really tough. I
would. So just like stay tuned though. Stay tuned, yeah. Because like most likely first day of class.
Yeah.
Oh my God, who's in 3B?
Wow. Oh, and not to mention, my field is very, I mean, it's woman dominant, but I mean, it is also like white women dominant, and that has its own
for sure
fun
complexities.
But it is full of women, and I am attracted to women.
So the pattern continues.
Yes. Exactly.
Period.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What was I about that?
Have you had situationships with white women before? Dated white women?
I wouldn't really say a situationship with any of them, but like again, like last year, I was rotating through those apps. Like,
I'm fucking dead.
Now I'm like, how the fuck did I have the energy for that? Like how the fuck? Because like I really am like introverted. I keep to myself a lot. I mean, you know, I have my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
I pretty much conserve all my energy for myself or for them. Like anything outside of that. I like tried going back on like Tinder and like having conversations.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, like,
no, I feel you.
Talking stages, whoa,
yeah, literally, I want to die.
Horrible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just don't have the energy for that, and I am done pretending like putting myself out there doesn't actually, you know, affect me emotionally. And like, it's an amount of vulnerability that, like, I don't want to like keep getting hurt and.
Absolutely, yeah.
So yeah.
Okay. But it's brave of you to put yourself out there, though.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I'm not opposed to like a fun thing if it like feels right, but like I'm just like not about forcing. I'm just trying to work with the universe here.
I also agree with you with the apps right now. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not even really on them because I'm just like, gag me with a spoon, you know? Yeah. Like, it's painful at this point. Yeah. So now I'm just kind of like in this era of like, I'm just existing here, seeing what's happening. I'm putting myself in these positions, and I'm, you know, like, I'm literally meeting people like in real life, which is like crazy. Like, IRL.
Imagine.
And just like seeing what happens, like, you know, and like even too, like, it's like going out on dates is like, oh God, I'm exhausted. Like, it's really been like lately I've had a string of like just one dates, like just going on a date. Nothing that's not happening again. Yeah. Going on a date, that's not happening again. Yeah. Like, you know, and I'm just like tired. Like, I'm tired.
Dude, I can't even get to that point. I can't even get like into a talking phase.
No, like, it's like I'm not even talking to you. Yeah. Like, I'm just like, I don't want to talk. Like, let's just meet each other. I'm at that point.
That's valid.
Like, it's like, I don't want to talk. I don't want to text. I'm a horrible texter too. And so I'm like, that doesn't work out for me then, because then I won't ever text. Yeah. And then we never go out. Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah. It's tough out here.
It's just too much energy to put forward into like, and then when these aren't going to work out, I could just be making jewelry right now. Like,
you could be making jewelry. I'm going to start a podcast.
Yeah. Like, I have a vibrator. Like, I'm good.
For sure. She said Adam and Eve is there
for me.
For me.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and the strap-on remains boxed.
Collecting dust as we speak. Yeah. That's just unfortunate.
But you know, it's ready for the day.
It's there.
It's there.
It's looming. That's crazy. Ready for the day.
Ready for the day.
That it sees light. Right. Yeah. Those dust bunnies. Unfortunate.
I know.
Crazy.
Okay. She'll have her glory day.
She'll have her glory day. Okay.
She'll reach her potential.
What color are we working with?
It's purple.
Period.
Yeah. I guess it's like part of our flag or whatever. I don't know. It's just one of the color options. I think it's like a 6-inch, you know, like moderate.
Okay.
Size.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had this discourse last night talking about like strap, I guess, and it's not even, I guess this just relates to about the whole like discourse of does size matter, you know? Does size matter?
Wow.
Or is it just like what you can do with that thing?
It's a little of both. I mean, I don't have a lot of like, well, I've had some range. I've had some variety in my experience.
Right.
I mean, sometimes when I see like when it's like big, I'm like, ooh, I'm scared.
Right.
Actually.
For sure. Yeah.
So
just the tip. Right.
So, I mean, I can't really say for like the lower, what's the average penis size? Like 5.5, like 6?
Is it? I don't really know much.
Why would I keep track of that information? You know, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's been satisfactory for me.
Okay.
I mean, it really is just like the interpersonalness of it and the communication. That's really what it comes down to. So,
for sure.
No, but like also like if I were to see, I feel like I could work with anything, really. I'm not,
I can work with anything.
I mean, but
versatile queen. All right.
Oh my gosh, she's inclusive.
Inclusive.
But like if I saw
all size matters. I hated that so much.
All size matters.
I need to leave. That was bad.
God. But like if it, you know, I'd be like, if I did see like a really big one, like I'd be like, that's intimidating. I might just walk out.
Right.
I think I saw a tweet that was like that. That was like he pulled out his pants that had a 10-inch, and I just walked out the door.
Yeah.
I was like, because that's so much work.
No, and like also it's just like literally like, what are you doing? Get the fuck out of here.
What are you doing?
Like, come on.
like, is that not a burden to you? Like, also, like, the thought of, like, having a penis is so, like, aggressive to me. Just, like, to have this thing, like, flopping around. I mean, I guess, you know.
Well, it's flaccid. Ooh.
Gross. But also, it's just like a thing in your pants.
Yeah.
It's like, literally, imagine just having a banana in your pocket.
Yeah.
I'm actually very happy not having a dick.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Ew, I'd cry every day.
I'm chill. I mean, having a uterus is its own, like...
No, literally, I cry every day.
Either way, I'd be crying every day. But, yeah, no.
But, like, yeah, having a dick. That's crazy. How did we talk about this?
I mean...
I feel like we touched on a lot of topics here.
Yeah.
I feel like we can finish.
We can finish.
Unlike most people.
Unlike
me most of the time. The moment of silence.
We saw that coming, yeah.
That's crazy. Fucking dead. But I guess I would just want to say, like, thank you for coming on, and thank you for sharing. I know I asked you a lot of shit.
I wanted to yap. I was fully ready to unpack my whole life there.
Alrighty.
So
yeah. Well, can you let the listeners know where they can find you on social media?
Oh,
plug the biz one more time.
Okay, the biz is Andrea.Nina.jewelry on Instagram. Just started it. I'm gonna launch myself on Depop soon.
Yes.
And I should have my personal linked on there if you just like want to see how hot I am. But Andrea.Naz.
DMs are open.
DMs are open. Are subject to evaluation, but they are open.
Give her like 3 to 5 business weeks. Probably. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, that's me. I had a great time. I'm so glad you let me yap.
Yeah, for sure.
I was just full of words.
Well, we'll definitely have to have another yap session.
Please.
For sure.
Part 2.
I feel like there's so much more.
There will be. There will be more.
Yeah, of course.
In a few months.
Grad school. Yeah, first day. 3B. I'm calling it.
I'm writing out the seating chart and starring each one that I want to. Yeah.
There you go. As you should. But yeah, no, I think that this was so fun. Thank you so much for explaining your lore, yapping with me. But I just want to wrap it up now. I guess I just want to say, if you like listening, make sure that you subscribe to my podcast and tune in weekly, because I'm gay and I'm hot. And if there's one thing about me, I'm gonna stir the plot. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.